The M&P 2.0. It has a software designation, but it's definitely new hardware. With all the updates Smith & Wesson has perfected after 10 years of production.
We launched the original M&P 10 years ago, so it was really time for an update. It was time to take 10 years of learning, 10 years of advancements, and incorporate it into the new design.
In all, there are some 35 changes and enhancements in the new guns. You can see some of the changes in comparing the stainless slides coming off the CNC mills, new cuts in the ejection port, and front slide serrations for a press check, if that's your technique. But one of the biggest changes in the parts going together in the 2.0 assembly cell is the trigger. You can't see the difference, but you can feel and hear it.
The new trigger has a light, crisp trigger pull, right around 5.5 pounds. It has a very clear and audible reset to it as well, which is something the original trigger didn't have. So we put a lot of work and a lot of design time into dramatically improving the trigger in the new M&P M2.0.
And the man with the world's greatest trigger finger is quick to agree, as Jerry meets the 2.0 for the first time right out of the box.
Well, what's apparent right off the bat is it's got an audible and a very distinct feel to the trigger when it goes into the reset cycle. Gives you a very precise feel of where you are in the trigger pull, which is really, really nice. I like that a lot.
The other noticeable enhancement is the new, more aggressive texture, first seen on the Shield 45. And there are now 4 inserts to better fit more hands, both male and female.
The texturing wraps all the way around the grip of the gun, and this makes it very easy to control recoil, and it's just enough to get a good firm grip. It's not too aggressive so that you're going to tear your hands, it's just the right amount.
Grip and trigger, the 2 most noticeable enhancements for the M&P 2.0. But the rest of the story is under the flag, 60 miles south of the team in the assembly cell building guns. This is Deep River Plastics, the Smith & Wesson company where Carl Wilson is turning glass-filled nylon beads into serialized frames, the true beginning of the M&P 2.0. And the only place you can see the steel struts, the chin insert, and the mag catch spring going into the mold before it closes with 150 tons of pressure to contain the shot of nylon heated to about 500 degrees. The 2.0 is the first and only polymer gun to get full-length steel struts for stiffening inside an exceptionally complex 3-piece mold.
We have an integrated steel chassis system. This is part of that chassis system that you can see here. The operator will take it and basically load it into the press like so. You can see the whole thing at this stage of the operation. But in the press, once this mold closes and the cores come together, this whole cavity will be injected with our molten resin, basically embedding these steel components, these inserts, including the steel chassis system, into the frame itself.
And the answer to how you mold a hollow mag well is 2 precisely machined inserts that meet under hydraulic pressure for the shot of nylon, and then withdraw, so Carl can remove the finished frame. From this moment on, ATF considers the frame to be a gun, so it's tracked by the computer from Carl's workbench into the box that will carry his frames north to the assembly cell, where the team has been building M&P 2.0 units 24/7 with different parts than the 1.0 models that continue in production. That's the process challenge for Smith's top engineer, Mark Smith.
The biggest challenge about a new product is making sure that we've always got the right parts on the line. So making sure that we get, once those parts are on the line, it becomes easy, pulling them right off the bins in front of you. So really it comes back to the warehouse, making sure that the warehouse knows that, you know, the pin that goes on an M&P 2.0 and the pin that goes on an M&P 1.0 are separated.
It's also Mark Smith's responsibility to be sure the teams are building the right products for the market.
So we spend a lot of time trying to understand the market demand, and when it changes rapidly as it does in the firearms world, we got to be able to provide a competitive advantage to our sales team in order to shift our mix quickly. So we have a whole team of folks in the back office who are constantly looking at our schedule, constantly looking at the market demand, the inventory levels, trying to identify trends, and shifting our production, our output, to make sure that we're matching whatever it is that consumer and our distribution partners want.
It's a Smith & Wesson team effort, with the tool and die makers setting up different molds to run the 5-inch, the compact, the thumb safety, and all the other variations in the M&P line. All will come to market with the enhancements of the new 2.0 series for officers, for operators, for concealed carry, and for competitive shooters worldwide. Watching the pros evaluate a new gun is both interesting and instructive, as they judge the features they will take into competition. For Jerry, it's first the trigger.
It's also a lot lighter. It feels like it's a couple of pounds lighter. A little bit crisper, not quite as long of a trigger pull. It's very apparent when you, good stuff.
Then there's the new texture on the back strap and the frame, and how that will help his record-fast shooting.
It's really aggressive. It's also, they've changed the texturing on the frame. They've made it pretty aggressive, and what's really good about that is that it gives the user the ability to grasp it and also pull down on it, which is probably the most advanced shooting technique there is, to shoot a pistol fast.
Julie is also a fan of the texture.
The texturing wraps all the way around the grip of the gun, so you get a firm grip on the gun, a little bit of texture on there that makes it easy to control that recoil.
And yes, she's a fan of that new 5.5-pound trigger.
Of course, the trigger is pretty awesome too. As someone who shoots a lot, I look for a good, tight-feeling trigger, and the M&P 2.0 has that right out of the box. One thing you'll notice is that firm reset, so that you'll be able to get on target fast.
And then there is the choice of 4 grip inserts. Julie set up 4 targets to demonstrate how the right grip for her hands affects the aim and impact.
The large fits really well in my hand. It fills up my palm, but it also makes me have to stretch for the trigger a little bit. And so that's the reason why I want to make sure that I shoot all of these different grip sizes to see which one works best. So I'm going to take the large off and put the medium large on next.
It would appear from that target, medium large will be her choice. But for Jerry, it will be the large insert. His hands are definitely large, but it's not just the distance from back to front that's important.
Not only does it give you the distance reach to the trigger, but it also gives you some width adaptability, which is important because your hand actually has a round void in it, so it fills the void to the side. So it gives you more purchase all the way to the back and on the side, which is kind of crucial. So when you grab it, you're actually using the whole hand and not just the front of your grip and the back.
And as you're trying the inserts, be mindful of where you want your finger to contact the trigger, if you want to shoot like Jerry.
I want to use toward the end of the finger. And the idea behind that is when you address the trigger, that you can pull it straight to the back and not thrust it to the side, nor pull it to the side. You want to stay square on the face of the trigger, so when you do your trigger cycle, when you address it, you're going to be straight to the bore and not off to one side or the other.
Take it from the pros, you've got their instruction, and now you've got the choices to improve your shooting with the new M&P 2.0.
You've made it this far in the video, and for that, we thank you. If you're enjoying the content, please consider subscribing. It helps the channel, and we'll keep the uploads coming.